How your lawn looks says a lot about you, so put your lawn care maintenance into the hands of someone who really cares. They're reasonable, experienced, reliable, licensed, and insured. They are Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Commercial and residential services are available all year long. Call or text them today for a free estimate. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio, 419-708-0005. Top-Notch Lawn Care of Toledo, Ohio. Hey, it is Smooth Tim and Larry E. And thank you for joining us on another hump day on the Tim's Tidbits show. How's it going, Larry?
It's hot again.
Hot again? What's up with that?
Man, Texas. It's like every show I get darker and darker.
Yeah, we gotta have to get you some better lighting. What's up with that? You guys keep breaking the 100-digit mark down there in Texas, trying to set new records and stuff. All kinds of stuff happening in Texas.
Man, it's so hot. The homeless are like, you know what? I just need to buy me a house. I need a house with AC in it.
Is that what they doing? Gonna start homesteading on houses with AC.
They pack their stuff up under the bridge. They trying to find cribs. It's hot.
Hey, you know what I found interesting? I've seen on the news too. You talk about hot. Europe's having a heat wave too, yes. And apparently, like in London, they're saying it's like in the 100 degrees, but only 3% of them have air conditioning.
Ooh, some tough people.
Some tough people. I'm like, there's some lucky. You're gonna have a lot of friends if you've got AC.
And that's somebody you don't want to mess with. Somebody riding around with their window down. You know the AC don't work, so you do not want to mess with them.
No, those people you don't want to cut off nothing. They're already pissed off.
They don't need a gun. They're just gonna look over at you and be like, and that's all you gonna do. Okay, my bad, bro. It's hot.
You know, is what it is, right? Shit happens. Hey, man, let's get in a little bit into the show. First off, is this law unconstitutional? And we talked a little bit about this on the last show. You know that the Supreme Court, overturned Roe v. Wade and threw everything back to the states, right? Right. I think we talked last week a little bit about the 10-year-old in Ohio who was a victim of a rape, and they had to go to Indiana Well, it transcends now even into Texas. And let's see what happens when this woman had to suffer through what she had to suffer through because of the new abortion laws.
Marlene Estelle and A.D. De Silva have always wanted a little brother or sister for their daughter, Adelina. Instead, what they got was a nightmare because of a Texas anti-abortion law.
I get so angry that I was treated this way because of laws that were passed by men who have never been pregnant and never will be.
Estelle's nightmare started out as a dream come true. After months of trying, she became pregnant late last summer.
We were super excited because we didn't think I could get pregnant.
An ultrasound at 7.5 weeks showed all was well. But at an ultrasound 2 weeks later,
she said, there is no heartbeat, there is no viable pregnancy.
Estelle asked her doctor for a standard treatment, a surgery to remove the fetal remains. She says her doctor refused. That surgery, commonly known as a D&C, is the same procedure used to abort a living fetus.
She said, well, because of the new law that's passed, you're going to have to get another ultrasound for me to be able to even do anything for you.
Overwhelmed emotionally and physically,
the pain would get so severe it would be hard to walk.
She went to get a second invasive ultrasound at an imaging center, describing it later in a YouTube video.
Someone shoves a wand in my sensitive area and tells me, hey, you lost your baby again. I shouldn't have to go through that twice.
So you had to hear it twice that you lost a baby.
It's gut-wrenching. Sorry.
That's okay.
Because you already know what you're going to see. It's just like seeing it twice, being told that you're not going to be a mom.
Even after that second ultrasound, would your obstetrician give you the surgical procedure?
No. No.
Stell had to go get yet another ultrasound showing her dead fetus. So you were walking around carrying a dead fetus?
And just emotionally carrying it around and just knowing that there's nothing you could do, it just feels very, it's like I can't grieve or move past it because I'm just walking around carrying it.
Stell was not so lucky. She did finally manage to find a doctor to perform her D&C, but it took 2 weeks. She worries the nightmare could happen to her again. Are you trying to get pregnant again?
No.
Why not?
I'm worried about getting infected, have something happen to me, and then my daughter's left without her mom.
Now they're contemplating moving away from Texas, away from their extended family, just so they can try to get pregnant again.
Now that's jeopardizing a human's life. There could be so many complications from her having to carry around a dead fetus in her body for 2 weeks.
I don't have a lot of words for that, man. That's just plain. It's ludicrous that the doctor would not. Sometimes you got to make a call. Okay. Okay, forget the law, forget the regulations, rules and regulations. Sometimes at the end of the day, you got to make a call. And the right call would have been do the surgery, perform the surgery, and it is what it is. It's between her and the doctor. I'm not saying it's rules and regulations with doctors, but make the call.
Yeah, the doctor was worried about, the
Their
repercussions
license.
upon him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, worry about their license.
Rather than the repercussions on the patient, i.e., couldn't you easily go septic from having that? I would imagine. Besides other complications, I have no idea how numerous they could be, but to put somebody's life in jeopardy because of some, invasion on their ability to make a adult decision.
Man,
Again,
that's the kind of world we're living in. The rules are, how can I say? I don't even know why rules are supposed to be meant to help people, save people, help people. Okay. Now, when you get to the point where the rules that you establish are hurting people, shouldn't you change it? Shouldn't you go back to the drawing board and say, hey, people are suffering from this. Let's make some changes. Let's make some alterations to it. Let's make some stipulations to it. Let's put some ifs, ands, and buts on it instead of just being so direct.
Right. I mean, our laws are built upon what? Morals and ethics. That's morally correct. That's ethically correct. They should be doing that. I mean, that's just, you shouldn't go and rob a person. You shouldn't go kill a person. These kind of things, yes.
Yeah, laws are meant to make sure the human race moves forward in a positive manner. That's the whole point of a law or rule. Or
when you start putting constraints, again, there's a minority putting a constraint on the majority, and unfortunately, it's adversely affecting women in many, many, many different ways.
Well, this country and all other countries have been holding women back for a long, long time. They always do. They always will, and they need to stop. And we have we have people in office that should make those changes, like the vice president, and they have some more females part of her circle, whatever. They should make the changes and step up and say something, because women have all been discriminated against. Whether they've been straight or gay or short hair, long hair, brunette, or whatever, they always have been discriminated against, along with slaves. And they moved that forward. Things have changed, but women are still being held back. And women give birth to our future leaders. We help too, though. But you need the woman. They've been held back.
And it's been like that for a long, long time. And, you're going to be held back because of gender or race. It's just, our country, unfortunately, has a kind of a history of that.
Yeah, it's like they love holding people back for some strange reason. And the whole point of this whole thing, this conglomeration of people in the world, is to move forward technology-wise, psychological-wise, socially. We're supposed to move forward into a whole new realm and evolve.
Yeah, just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't make it morally wrong.
But why does it make them uncomfortable? They have an abortion.
Who knows? Because it doesn't fit into their values. What they value, right?
Yeah, but the last thing I saw, Tim, it's all about money. I don't know when it changes from Money is money. The doctor's going to get paid. Somebody's getting paid. The person that's paying, they got insurance. So
Oh, now
at the
think
end of
about that. You bring up a real good point. An abortion is going to cost what? In the neighborhood of $4,000, give or take, whatever it is nowadays. And a birth is going to cost you in the neighborhood of what? 50 to 70,000.
yeah, that's if the baby comes out and I go to like
Yeah,
the
and doesn't have any
incubator or
problems.
whatever.
So let's see, it's 10 times more expensive to have a baby. So you're going to force a person who may be economically restrained to not be, or other physical, emotional reasons. That's up to them. It's not, I mean, who are we to dictate why they decide to have an
But
abortion?
you know
or not?
what, Tim? Why that could be a reason. They're saying, you know what, we're not making enough money aborting these babies. We need to bring in more babies and make more money. How do we know it's not a scam? We need to bring
Well,
in
when
these
you
babies
compare
to
the
make more
numbers,
money.
yeah, there's a whole lot of big difference that a
Yeah, it makes
insurance
sense.
company can rake in if you actually birth that baby rather than abort it. So from
You
an
can probably
economic
make-
standpoint, which is a horrible way to look at it, Larry, we shouldn't, but you're right.
We talking about the government. We thinking in the government's perspective. Think about it. You can make more money by having a deadbeat human compared to a regular human or normal human. As long as you have them, you can make money off of them. Whether they in a foster home or whether they in prison or whether they doing something positive, you can make money.
But it kind of
So-
all ties back. Texas is interesting. I mean, we tied it back last week to the woman that had the, 6-week-old baby in her belly and was in the HOV lane. This woman has a 2-week dead fetus in her belly, and they won't do it because now they're, see how confusing it gets?
It's just ridiculous.
So,
because
I mean, you know, that law has everybody so, I don't know what to do.
one step forward, 2 steps backwards. That's exactly what we do in this country.
Indeed. And like I said, you know, they're scared to change, but the House does some things once in a while. Then they introduced a bill to try to help protect some of the part of Roe v. Wade. There's an attachment to Roe v. Wade. I think we'd mentioned that some shows ago. That kind of is tied along with that. And I can't remember the case, but it had to do with gay marriage.
Okay.
So, and you know that Justice Thomas, was it, in his writings about why they was going to overturn Roe v. Wade, he mentioned, you know, gay marriage, interracial marriage. So the House is trying to get ahead of the game. Let's listen to this.
Late today, lawmakers on the Hill voted to protect same-sex marriage under federal law. It passed in the House with support from every Democrat and 47 Republicans. Later this week, the House gets set to vote on the Right to Contraception Act. That bill would protect access to birth control. The Supreme Court rulings, Obergefell versus Hodges and Griswold versus Connecticut, currently protect both same-sex marriage and contraception. But when the court overturned Roe v. Wade last month, the conservative Justice Clarence Thomas wrote a concurring opinion, and in it, he said the justices should consider those cases as well. Well, now Democrats say lawmakers must pass national laws that protect those rights, same-sex marriage and contraception access. Republicans argue Democrats are using the issues for show since the Supreme Court has not moved to reconsider them. It's unclear whether the bills could even pass in the 50-50 Senate. 10 Republicans would have to join all of the Democrats.
See, and I don't trust them one bit. Well, they've never even mentioned it. Well, Thomas mentioned it in his brief. And, you know, they also, all those judges that overturned Roe v. Wade are the same ones when they were confirmed. Razor, you know, said that, no, we'd never touch Roe v. Wade because it's already a precedent set. They're liars. We discussed that before, too. So I'm glad the House is getting ahead of this. It is not any type of political move. It's a protect us move. And, you know, not us, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Like we
This
married,
is a-
like you and I are married, you know?
This is a freedom of choice. I always believed that's why we live in the United States, because we have freedom of choice in a lot of different areas. And it just seems they keep trying to drag them away. I'm glad the House decided to do something about it. What do you think?
Well, I'm about people being better. You know, I'm heterosexual, so I'm never gonna marry a man. And but I'm not gonna sit there and be homophobic and say another person shouldn't. I'm like, if it takes a man to marry a man to make them a better people, do it. If it takes women to marry another woman to make it better people, do it. It's all about what makes you better, what motivates you, what makes you a better human being to move us forward. And I think, like I say, I'm heterosexual, but it all depends on what makes you better. And that's something that they established to make us better, to clarify a lot of issues, and it makes life simpler. So I support it. Contraceptives, I support that also. I'm like, it's necessary.
I can't believe they're even talking. Yeah, that they even mentioned contraceptives. I forgot that. And we talked about that. The woman caught hell that she went to the pharmacy and the pharmacist gave her all kinds of flack for, getting a contraceptive because of the pharmacist's biblical views on the whole thing.
Well, that's that woman's choice, a woman's body, and it is what it is. Now,
same thing with a man. A prophylactic. What are they going to say? Yeah. That's protection against a lot of different things besides getting somebody pregnant, transmitting, STDs and whatever. Yeah. Are they going to ban that too? What?
It stops the spread of diseases most of the time, and people want to enjoy casual sex, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're single or whatever you're into, if you're a swinger or whatever you're into, you want to have casual sex and you protect yourself. You want to protect yourself. That's what it's made for. That's part of our evolution.
Now they're talking about taking that choice away. So yeah, I'm glad. I hope the House gets on all this.
Yeah, protect that, man. I'm like, forget it. If it makes you a better person, do it. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what I think to a person that thinks the same way that follows me. But at the end of the day, whatever makes you a better person, do it. Stick with it. Man want to marry man, marry man. Woman want to marry woman, whatever.
Yeah, if we're like-minded and don't think people should do this and not do that, well, then that's fine because we're two like-minded individuals.
Yeah,
and such and that.
And we can't control what somebody else does.
But we sure can't walk over there and say, well, let's beat their ass because they don't think like us.
Like, wow, you might learn something from them. You might learn. They might be a different love, something about them loving each other. Like, okay, how do you love each other like that? Something.
You might learn a little something.
Love is love. It don't matter whether it's two men loving each other or two women loving each other. Love is love. Just like math is universal around the world. Numbers are numbers. No matter where you go, it's the same. Love is love. No matter where you go, love is love.
I think as long as you are in a relationship that is positive and there's purpose in the relationship, you're moving each other forward, fine. If you're in a relationship that's abusive or it's stagnating you, dragging you down, it's time to get out of that one.
And that's whether two men being negative towards each other, two women being negative towards each other, or a man and a woman, or if it's not right, it's not right. But like I say, I support anything that's going to make people better and move us forward.
I hear you.
But I still do think that men and women belong to each other because we need babies, we need kids.
We need kids. Wait, speaking of that, I'm trying to, and they were talking about this one guy, now this is strange, and I didn't know this could happen. Apparently a transgender got pregnant, and they won't allow him to have an abortion, but it can cause all kinds of physiological problems that they did get pregnant. I'm going to have to look at this one. It briefly came across the TV, and I'm like, what? I didn't realize.
Hey, I got one better than that I saw. They allowed a transgender man to be put in a women's prison. He started getting all the women pregnant. Look it up. A transgender man. He's a man. He's going to be the woman. Didn't get his thing chopped off. They put him in a women's prison. He started knocking up all the women inmates. It's crazy.
Yeah, but if he doesn't have a ding-a-ling, how's he going to get him pregnant?
No, he has one.
So he's got both organs?
What?
He's got like a little pocket vagina thing?
No,
whatever
he
it is.
looks like, what he did, he basically looked like a woman.
Uh-huh.
And they thought it looked like a woman. They put him to keep identified with women and put him in there with women. Look it up. He's knocking them all off.
Oh, he can't. I wonder if he's fully transitioned because I didn't think he could have it.
I saw it. I'm like, no, get out of here. And I saw it. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, why didn't I think of that when I was younger, when I was being a player? I could say, hey, I identify with women. Commit a crime, put me in women's prison.
Yeah, get some implants so you can just go into female prison.
Pop them up, blah, I'm God. I fooled y'all.
You insane, man.
I got speaking
of freaking insane. Now, Betsy DeVos used to be the head of the Department of Education, and she under President Trump. And anyhow, she has something to say, and she's thinking. Let's listen to what she has to say. Get back and talk about this.
Betsy DeVos just called for abolishing the Department of Education. Republicans have talked about abolishing the Department of Education for decades, but this is something else. Betsy DeVos wanting to abolish the Department of Education isn't surprising at all. All of Trump's cabinet appointees had conflicts of interests with the industries they regulated. It was a cabinet designed to destroy their departments. I spent the weekend at the Moms for Liberty National Summit, where activists were trained on vetting candidates, messaging and running for office, in between speeches by Ron DeSantis, Betsy DeVos, Rick Scott and others. Never forget that it was Betsy DeVos's adoption agency that processed and profited from migrant children separated from their parents at the border. Betsy DeVos isn't the only person who wants to eliminate public schools. It's a good thing for us she is no longer the Secretary of Education and is out of our government. Let's also look to the future and keep those who would undermine education out of office.
Abolishing the Board of Education. They're talking about
that's
that.
the dumbest thing I've seen yet. I'm like, because you know why? It's a money margin in there somewhere.
Well,
If they abolish it, it's kind of like private prisons.
It privatizes schools. They can make money.
And the people that can't get in are going to get squeezed out, and you're going to create a bunch of dummies. And then the dummies are going to be working the bottom line jobs and not making no money. You're going to create more poverty than what it is. And you're going to have a lifeline of generations of kids that don't know anything. It's going to just pull this country even lower than what it is. I'm like, that's a scam. And then it's just that the Board of Education pretty much, with support of the federal government, they make sure that funding is sent. Am I right? Funding is sent to schools.
Yes, right.
It's already a problem with that. Imagine if they didn't have that.
Yeah, remember we talked about that. That New York didn't want to give the money to private Catholic schools, and then it went to one of the regional courts, and they overturned it and said, well, yeah, you have to give that money. I mean, so, but again, depending upon who the justice was at the court, who put him there, what his viewpoints are, liberal or conservative, I don't know. But still, point being, you're right. That's what happens, though, when you put millionaires in charge of the United States. All they can think about is making money. Not making it better, just making money.
Yeah, they got people that specialize in statistics and numbers, and they say, hey, what can we get rid of that we can still compete with other countries to still make money? Public schools. Let's get rid of the traditionally black colleges. Those are falling off the map. What can we get rid of that we funding that we shouldn't give money to? But what can we do? We can't get rid of the security of our country. We got to make sure the army, the militaries, and all they stay, they stay there, funding and stuff like that. But what can we get rid
that's
of?
why they were so anal, Larry. That's why they so anal about securing the border, because they already knew their plan ahead of time.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you mess with a school? I'm like, I can understand some of these churches with these bootleg pastors spitting out these narratives that are negative towards the community and people, but why would you mess with a school? I'm like, it ain't nothing but good in the school.
The Department of I think that you should have standards across. I see nothing wrong with the National Board of Education setting across national standards for learning. Why would you throw it back to the states to say, well, our state's full of dummies, so here's our standards, and our state's full of smart people, here's our standards, and I mean, you're going to have disparity, huge.
Well, you got
huge. I mean, I don't mean to sit there and classify a state as smart or dumb, but I'm being facetious, but still.
But Tim, we can listen to the way they talk, the things they say, what they support. We know or they dumb or not. We know for a fact. You can listen to somebody talk. They ain't got to have a master's degree or doctorate. You can listen to the things come out their mouth and the way they move and the things they say and what they support.
Talking about exchanging air and stuff, not stop it.
Yeah, exchange it there. Dumb stuff like that. And then get rid of the Board of Education, leaving it to the states. We already know Texas is a Republican state. We know what's going to happen down here. We know that some of these schools are not going to be funded properly, and these kids are going to suffer from it.
Big time.
Know that.
Big time.
Know that.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about them over in Duncanville in South Dallas, and
they don't want them over there anyway.
What's going to happen?
Of course, they are African Americans, and maybe their school numbers are not up to standard compared to other schools. But look at the community, look at the neighborhood, look at the way they brought up, look at the funding, look at everything in a whole, and compare it to another South Lake Carroll or something like that, or something up in Allen.
Oh, up north, yeah.
Big difference. Big difference. The funding is not being evenly given out to schools like it should, and that's with the Board of Education somewhat regulating it. It's going to get worse.
Well, all you need to do is just drive by and look at some of the football stadiums at some of the high schools, and you can see the disparity.
I went to a football stadium, Tim. I thought I was at the stadium over there, and I'm like, what the hell is this big old giant?
I mean, up north in South Lake, right?
Immaculate. And they ain't won a national championship or kind of state championship in years, and they got this big, giant, immaculate stadium. Why?
It is huge. It would put some colleges to shame. I bet you it holds, 30,000?
Yeah. I'm like, it's incredible. Then you go down to who won, I think, football, the national championship, Duncanville or somebody, somebody here in Dallas.
Right. Well, what was it? Down by where you live. Over there, it was a Cockrell Hill.
South Oak Cliff
won state championships, and look at the condition of their school.
And I grew up in South Oak Cliff. My wife is from South. We both grew up over there, and it doesn't. Now we're not going to say they're the smartest ones because there are a bunch of smart kids in there. But all I'm saying is they will be smarter. They will have more of a chance if they had more funding. So you don't need big old giant stadium about the size of Baylor Stadium, the size of Dallas Cowboy Stadium. You just need a football field with 2 goal posts, and that's it. And then put the rest of that money into the school. That's all you need.
Well,
you can still get you a champion.
That would be nice.
I just hope that they don't.
That disparity we can talk about all. Yeah, I seen it when we were living down there, looking at some of the schools. You can see the differences, and it all depends upon where you live. You're right.
You would think it's a college stadium.
Oh, the one up north? Oh, yeah. That's ridiculous.
I'm a bigger than college stadium. Can't win a game. Team sorry as hell.
Sorry-ass team with a gigantic stadium.
Yeah, the big old stadium out there. They on the football field doing this. Wow, look. Wow. Get ran over. Looking at the stadium and, look, I know we had that. Wow. Come on, man. You need all that.
Did you hear the news? The January 6th, that they had sent some fake electors into and gave those fake electors to Mike Pence, and Pence rejected them. I believe we showed that video, 2-3 months ago. We've been covering this one. But anyhow, apparently some of these guys that submitted these electors are going to be getting some subpoenas. Let's check this out.
New tonight, the special grand jury investigating whether former President Donald Trump criminally interfered with Georgia's election results is now issuing a subpoena to Congressman Jody Hice to testify. But there are already signs that he will challenge this. Joe Hinkie here to explain this evening. Joe?
Jennifer, the one-page subpoena sent to Representative Jody Hice does not say why District Attorney Fonnie Willis wants the special grand jury to hear from the congressman, but he very publicly objected to Georgia's 2020 election results. Today, 11 Alive received this subpoena sent to Congressman Jody Hice, ordering him to testify before the special grand jury. But his attorney has filed notice to attempt to move the matter to federal court and is arguing a judge must quash the subpoena because of members of Congress being federally protected from questions about their congressional work. Back in December of 2020, Hice and a group of Republicans headed to the White House for an hours-long meeting to discuss ways to overturn Joe Biden's electoral win. After the January 6th riot, as Congress certified the electoral votes affirming Biden's win, Hice objected to Georgia's results.
Objected the electoral votes from the state of Georgia on the grounds that the election conducted on November 3rd was faulty and fraudulent.
He is the second publicly known member of Congress to be subpoenaed in this investigation. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham was the first.
Why is a senator from South Carolina calling the Secretary of State in Georgia anyway?
Because the future of the country hangs in the balance.
Graham has a federal hearing scheduled Wednesday where he is also trying to have his subpoena quashed. A Fulton judge recently ordered Graham to testify.
Man, they just, come on, man.
Now, you know what that tells me? I'm listening to, dude wants his subpoena squashed. You know, Lindsey, we know Lindsey's an idiot. Wants his subpoena squashed because of some law. What? Because you're not, what, you think you can get away with anything as long as you're in Congress and there's nobody can touch you because there's this congressional law that says. That's another I mean, that's, I couldn't believe that one.
I can believe it. I'm not even shocked. I'm like, they cheat. I'm like, they say if you're not cheating, you're not trying to win. I'm like, but come on.
That's the whole thing, and they're accusing the Democrats of what? Cheating, stuffing ballot boxes,
right?
Ballot harvesting, all this other bullshit, right?
The crazy part is those people in those government offices are the biggest snitches. They got secrets. Somebody knows all their secrets. Somebody knows exactly what they're doing when they did how they did it, and it's a smoking gun out there just waiting to just blow one off. And I'm telling you. And they always cheat, they always lying, they always scamming, and they do it for money, and they don't give a rat's ass about the American people talking about the country holding the balance. Bruh, you care about yourself and your party and your pockets. That's what you care about. Yourself, your party, your pockets. You don't care about Larry Estelle and Smooth Tim on Facebook doing their show.
They don't give one. They don't give one. They don't.
No, I don't care about it. They don't care about me being a personal trainer and got this picture up on the walls from the paint and sip. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about my beautiful wall of the art. They care about pockets, party, and themselves. That's it.
Yeah, we truly need some leaders who understand the value of the workers.
Yeah, but the thing about it, I understand
to the workers
what the government is supposed to do. I understand that. Okay, do your job as a government official, and then still let the American people be the American people. Won't you squash all this insurrection crap, this racism, all this other crap that they're going through and they're trying to hold people back on? Do your job as a government official and move us forward. That's what you do, move us forward. Accept us, everybody. I'm like, especially if you're an American citizen and you're a veteran, when you pay your taxes. I'm talking about the ones that do this year in, year out. Okay, if we get immigrants come in, okay, if they want to be in our country, make them American citizen, make sure they pay their taxes, and then allow them to have the spoils of being America, and then let them treat them the same way and move us forward. They just scamming. They doing all this scam stuff in a circle. It ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, didn't they call those the dreamers? What was that when they did that first? And I believe, they let them come in so long, and as long as they enrolled in college and got a job, and it was a contribution to the society, they contributed one way or the other positively. Hang around, right? Become a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, look at the government officials. They're not doing nothing, but they're just worried about themselves, their pockets, their party, and that's it. And they're in their positions. They don't care about. And I hate it when they do it at the American people, our country. The hell are you talking about, bruh? The country is the people. This is the country. United States is not a flag with stars and stripes. It's the people in the country. We are the people, not the House of Representatives, the Senate, or the judges, the judicial judges. That's just a very small part. The masses, we're the people. We count, and they don't care about us. And they circle. They do the same stuff, and this other stuff we ain't even put on the show yet, Tim. In their little circle, they just taking care of themselves. And they use that word loosely to American people. They probably ain't been in the military. They probably not a veteran. They probably even been to a wartime situation. They've been protected and carried their whole life, and now they running shit and they fucking it up.
And make this very specific. That includes Republicans, Democrats, Independents,
all of them, right wing,
all of them,
Democrats, liberals. I'm like, there's some out there, conservatives. I'm like, a political party is a political party. At the end of the day, what can you put in my pocket? How can my party stay successful?
They have an agenda.
What can you do for me?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
And that agenda is not necessarily what would benefit us.
Yeah, it don't benefit the people. It benefits them and their part and their position and their pockets. I'm like, that's why when I hear politics talk, I'm not even surprised because that's how they are, whether they're black, whether they're white, whether they Hispanic, Asian, it's all the same.
You're trying to say it really doesn't matter. They're all full of shit.
Yeah, they are. It's like when you vote, you should just close your eyes and just vote for anybody up there because they all work together. And then the funny part is they put these little things out there like they're against each other. Man, behind closed doors, they probably go to each other's houses. Kids go to the same school.
Well, I think it's. I don't know if they do that anymore because I think sometimes because I don't even see the reach across the aisle going on over anymore. It's just like each party is so consumed in trying to maintain control that anything else.
It's about them.
Yeah, it's all about them.
Yeah, it's about them though. It's not about us. What they're trying to make control of, Tim? Their position, their party, their money that their party's getting, their positions that they get money from, and patting their pockets, and they're trying to take care of themselves.
Well, think about it. And we got this one guy, and he's here in Ohio, at J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is the one that we seen him walking with the gun. I support guns, blah 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 blah. And they got pictures of him actually filming at the at January 6th at the insurrection. He was taking part in it. And then he was on another talk show afterwards saying, I was really pissed off at the Capitol Police because they used percussion grenades on us. And this is a guy, an Trump-endorsed candidate running for Congress.
I guess he didn't see what happened in the 70s or before the 70s when slavery was super crazy.
So, I mean, what I don't understand what people aren't seeing that's not getting done, and you need to start thinking, have some forethought in, what about me? You're leaving the middleman behind.
Yeah, I don't understand people, and it makes me mad, especially when they get these celebrities that go in there and say rock the vote. They're getting paid to say that. They don't really care. And they probably in with the party anyway. If they don't understand rock the vote, that means their pockets getting padded from somewhere, from that politician or whatever. They getting something out of it. I'm like, people just have to wake up and understand that the country, the Union of the United States is by itself. Their job is not to make sure we move forward. That's our job to make sure we move forward. Our job is to put up with all the bullshit that they do and stay strong during the midst of everything and move forward our own. Their job is not to help us. We have to help ourselves and help each other.
Well, I'll tell you, sometimes, and you know what? And you have to hold them accountable.
Nobody is.
And nobody is holding them accountable. And
they never get held accountable.
Here's a perfect example of how they're not held accountable.
Back here in Washington, a major development in the January 6th investigation and the hunt for those missing Secret Service text messages. The agency says it likely won't be able to recover data deleted from January 5th or 6th. The National Archives is now calling for an investigation. CBS's Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill with more.
Tonight, officials at the Secret Service are acknowledging that some key text messages from January 5th and 6th that weren't delivered to the January 6th committee are presumed to be permanently deleted, lost during a previously planned factory reset of agents' phones. The agency told CBS News it is reaching out to phone service providers and manufacturers for assistance.
I would be shocked and horrified if anyone in a position of leadership oversaw the destruction of evidence related to the January 6th insurrection.
The National Archives today asked the Secret Service to investigate how the records could have been erased. Agents played key roles on January 6th, both at the Ellipse when then President Trump demanded to be taken to the Capitol and alongside Vice President Pence, sheltering in place at the Capitol during the attack. The developments come 2 days before the committee's primetime hearing Thursday. The witnesses are former Deputy National Security Advisor Matt Pottinger and former Deputy White House Press Secretary Sarah Matthews, both of whom resigned on January 6th. Sources say Pottinger is expected to paint a picture of chaos in the West Wing, punctuated by the president's tweet attacking Pence.
That's where I knew that I was leaving that day once I read that tweet.
Matthews is expected to testify how alarmed she was that Trump refused to quickly call off the mob after the violence erupted.
We thought that the president needed to tweet something and tweet something immediately.
And late today, opening arguments began in the trial of Steve Bannon. The government argued the former White House strategist thought he was above the law when he rejected a subpoena from the January 6th committee. Bannon said the committee members should come to court to testify. Nora?
Nicole Killian on Capitol Hill for us. Thanks.
How do you, I'm like, how do you lose text messages?
That dude said, I'll be horrified and disgusted if I found out that evidence was destroyed. I'm like, well, you sound like an idiot saying that because you already know that's what happens. See, I don't even like him because he said that. He's supposed to be on trying to investigate it. And I hate it. People love investigating something. Let's investigate it. The government, the Secret Service, investigate it. That's taxpayer dollars going down the drain. Let's invest because we know that's taxpayer dollars. We pay them.
You know what's interesting?
They doing a damn investigation. They looking for ghosts. It's 2022. Now, what happened? I guarantee this happened. Somebody that's high up within the company that does tweets or messages or whatever, they got paid off. How can we fix this? You know, they get too bored. How can we fix this? We got text messages. Okay, how can we get rid of that? Who's in charge of that? They sat down and talked about that, and they got these secret meetings.
Yeah, because they were notified way before they did this changeover to, this transition from one cell phone to another. But anyhow, because it's all full of BS. But they knew about this. And the other part of it is, anything that you use with a government device, whether it's a telephone log, text messages, emails, correspondences in and out of the agency, they have a records retention schedule.
Yeah.
And that and the minimum I've ever seen is 3 years on records. And those are done obviously through the US government, through the National Archives. Through local government, usually through like maybe the Historical Society or someone like that. And they, and then there's also a written schedule. So it's not like you don't know, because there's policy and procedure on it. And that's a working document in between who's ever taking care of the archiving and that agency on what that retention schedule is. So they know too, right?
Yeah, somebody, they said, hey, let's fix it.
And somebody said, yeah, let's delete.
Yeah, I'm like, but somewhere, somehow, somebody has some real shit.
Well, all that's backed up. I mean, come on. That's why we have clouds. And why do you have a cloud? So that if information is lost in one area, you can go to another cloud and regain that information from it.
That stuff is somewhere.
Yeah. So that information is somewhere, they're acting just stupid about the whole thing. I mean,
this is crazy part about Tim. I guarantee you, down the line, way down the line, say Trump passes away or whatever, I guarantee all this stuff is going to surface. I'm just saying I want the man to die. I'm just saying he's a terrible president. He's a terrible president, but what happens is all this stuff is going to surface, and it's all going to come true. But then it's going to be too late.
Oh, you're not going to be able to prosecute? Oh, yep, too late.
No, they don't do it. I guess what's the statute of limitation on that? I'm not sure with the government, but it's always a statute of limitation on everything. Now, even once it passes the statute of limitation, they ain't going to do nothing. If they're going to do it, they got to do it now. They're doing investigations. When they know the right answers, they know how to get the information. They're not doing it because they don't want to put a blemish, for one thing. They don't want to put a blemish on the union.
Well, we talked about that in that case out of Mississippi, that young boy that whistled at the girl, 15-year-old. Can't think. Yeah, and they found Emmett Till. They found that subpoena for the woman. Still, so what if she's 80? You still never served it. But so that does, you get to your point, Larry.
Yeah, they don't want to put a blemish.
They're not going to do
shit. They know what
shit.
happened.
I ain't doing
They don't want to say that this country is rigging. This is he incited a riot, and look how it looks to other countries. Their own people are tearing up their own monuments and destroying their own country, and this, and they're cheating in elections, they mudslinging, they're doing all this stuff. They have no respect for each other. They look weak. They're not strong. I'm like, if you're gonna do election right, if you're gonna lose, you lose. That's how it works. All right. Now everything else he did was straight up, and I understand political tactics, but this is just bad. It was just a bad election across the board.
You know what?
And then it's just this terrible. The whole thing, he was just bad in office. I'm like, he never should have been there. And it started bad, it ended bad. He should have stuck with entertainment.
And they're talking about 2024. He's their man.
Why? They didn't see the damn white dudes in the back of that U-Haul truck with no AC, with them guns and shit. They didn't see that. They gonna bring all them back.
You mean the good guys? Some of the good guys. You mean those good guys over there?
They didn't see the black militia with the brothers with all them guns.
Some of those good guys too. They're all good guys. Come on.
Yeah, do they want that? That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a civil war amongst people that really run this country, not the union, not the army. And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't give a damn how great. The only thing the army has on all these millions of people, billions of people in this country is they have nuclear weapons. But when it comes to people in general and guns, you can't compete with people, a mass of people that say, "Hey, we're tired of it. Do the right thing."
So
they don't want that.
So L.A.
Yeah, they
New
don't
York,
want riots.
Don't get out of control. We've got nukes.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's what's going to happen, Tim. They're going to create a social, a cultural war. And all it's going to do is to destroy this country and make it look bad. We're already going through this presidential crap. He sucked. He wasn't a good president. Now he learned from being in office. He learned how to be a politician more. Okay, but he shouldn't have been there in the first place. He should have just waited, took his turn, practiced, studied, trained, and then maybe 3 or 4 elections, he should have been in the office, maybe been a mayor or something first. At least try some mayor or whatever the hell you do before you be run for president. Then you get to office.
Well,
put him in there.
Think about this: how you could manipulate a lot of things. You know, if they keep throwing all this control back to the states, yes. Now maybe states could decide, how they want to decide the outcome of elections.
Mm-hmm.
Now they could do this electoral thing and say, even though Larry won the popular vote, electors want Tim, so that's where he's our candidate.
Basically, you voted for nothing.
So
I'm like,
just people keep aware. God, wake up, please. Wake up.
You can't believe the hype, man. You can't listen to this propaganda and this stuff on TV, and they only show what they want. They only show what they want to show you. They want you to hear what they want you to hear. Okay, you might get some stuff that leak out every once in a blue moon, but come on. The union, the government is here for the union of the United States. The United States is a union. They're there for the union, for the country. They're not there for us. They need to be there for us, and they should start opening them up for us more and giving us tax breaks more, whatever. But they're not. When a lot of tax breaks and all that stuff happen, they looking out for us. When you start getting money at schools and you start getting better looking neighborhoods, they're looking out for us. But you can look around your neighborhood and see that the government is not really looking out for us.
They once in a while feed the chickens. They call that a stimulus check.
Yeah, they throw the dog a bone.
Throw a little nuggets to you. Shut up.
Yeah, throw the dog. Yeah, exactly. Get some hush money because everybody loves hush money.
Everybody loves a little hush money here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, man, the government right now, they just looking bad. They just got the wrong people in place.
And you're 100% correct. And you know what? That leads us right into your favorite part.
Oh,
and that is this week's asshole. And again, let's go back to the 10-year-old girl from Ohio who was a victim of rape and had a hard time getting the baby aborted. But one of the biggest critics of the whole thing was Jim Jordan from Ohio.
Why'd you delete the tweet?
Well, because we learned that this illegal alien did this heinous crime. So we deleted the tweet.
Did you apologize to the girl and the family for suggesting it was a lie?
Never doubted the child. I was responding to a headline from your profession, the news profession, which happens all the time on Twitter. Doubted Joe Biden, which is usually a smart thing to do.
So then I also asked him whether or not about whether this fact that this tweet came across as if he was in fact questioning the child's story. He said, no, not at all. I was just questioning Joe Biden. And then I asked him about the idea about whether a 10-year-old should be required under the law of his state to have this child carried to term if she is raped. He would not answer that specifically, saying this is up to the state legislatures. He would not express his preference on this issue. So not apologizing for the tweet, not apologizing to the family, not regretting the tweet, but just claiming it was misinterpreted about what he meant, saying he didn't mean to question the girl, but criticizing the undocumented immigrant who was alleged to have perpetrated this heinous crime.
I really want to kick his ass.
He's an asshole. That's why he got the award. He deservedly got. I mean, to sit there and not want to apologize and retweeted it as fake news, created by the fake media, and this never happened. And when the truth does come out in the wash, not to rescind.
He can't backpedal now. He has to be. He got to stick to his word. I'm like, that's one thing I hate is somebody that backpedals. If you're gonna say it, stick with it. Stand on your principles, stand on your morals. So, but guy's a prick. No, whether it was wrong or anything, he shouldn't have said anything. When you don't know anything, you don't say anything.
That's the trouble. A lot of them don't know anything, i.e., trying to sit there and trying to control a woman, and when they're men, i.e., trying to sit there and say somebody was, that's all fake news that she was raped when you don't know jack about it. Yeah, they're all full of shit.
Then they're gonna blame Biden. Oh, shut up.
It wasn't that funny as hell.
Yeah, I'm blaming Biden.
Biden. I wouldn't have tweeted it. I wouldn't have tweeted
Biden
it.
sat there and tweeted the shit. Yeah, this is Biden. Allegedly, somebody got raped and she's 10 and we can't let it. Like, he put the shit. Come on, bro. Like, come on.
I know what he's talking about, and I don't know if we've seen that where Biden was giving a speech and he said, we need to do something about this, and then he talked about the 10-year-old girl that had to go across, to Indiana to get it aborted because of the stringent laws in Ohio, and that's when Jordan tweeted, fake news. That's Biden's full of crap.
Oh, that's what he. Okay, so he just
remember that speech.
Was just trying to. Okay, I remember that. So he was just basically just trying to just mudsling it. He's just mudslinging at Biden, basically.
Yeah, and trying to throw some, Biden under the bus with some fake news stuff, and then it turns out to be true. And then instead of eating crow, he just says, well, it's just typical of Biden and the fake news. You still haven't apologized. I mean, whatever.
Hey, you gonna run it. Boy, I'm telling you, if these people saying all that crap was around some regular folk, boy, they need to put them in the ring. Put them in the ring.
And look up Jim Jordan was he had something to do with, I don't know which one of the universities it was in Ohio, so I won't give the specific university, but he was over part of the wrestling program, and there was allegations of misconduct, and he just covered it up. So look that one up. I can't get into it because I don't know all the specifics.
Okay.
But yeah, Jordan's dirty.
Yeah, they I ain't gonna say all of them are dirty, but I'm just saying that the ones that are not dirty, they sitting back and they don't want to alienate themselves by standing up against those dirty Republicans or Democrats, whatever. They don't want to alienate.
Well, some of them are good enough, to slide around and just the mud doesn't stick to them, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wasn't involved deep enough, so you can't really prove it.
Yeah. So.
Tis the world we live in, I guess, man. Let me get back.
Who's the official asshole?
He made it, man. What can we say? Anyhow, Larry, let's wrap this up with what people love to hear, and that is Larry's fitness tip for the week.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Larry Estelle of LRE Fitness. You can find me on Facebook at Estelle Junior Larry or LRE Fitness Solutions. And you can find me on Instagram at LRE Fitness Solutions or Estelle Junior Larry. I'm a certified personal trainer through NASM, National Academy of Sports and Medicine. And this is my tip for the week. Beginners or even seasoned veterans, when you work out and you start feeling discomfort, soreness, pain, injuries, do not get discouraged. It's part of the game. Just go ahead and just get your rest. Make sure you stretch out the injury part, or if you fatigue, make sure you get your rest, water, electrolytes, or whatever, and just come back. Come back strong, come back harder. Never get discouraged, especially beginning fitness people. When you start beginning, you're going to get sore, you're going to get tired, you're going to be like, I don't feel like going, you got to go. Recover. If you get injured, recover, come back strong. That's my tip of the week. Do not be discouraged from pains, injuries, or anything that could happen when you start training and working out. My name is Larry Estelle, LRE Fitness, certified personal trainer.
Boom, there it is. And you know what? You're right. Hey, pains and injuries that is caused by what's going on around us, that's exactly why Larry and I are talking to you, man. Keep your ear to the wall, both sides. Listen to what's going on. Don't just listen to what somebody's telling you directly. Get out there and learn it. Get out there and research it so that you're putting the right people in the right place to get things done for you. That is what's really important, and that's what we're here trying to do. Anyhow, I think we got them educated for tonight.
Yeah, listen with your eyes, not always with your ears.
And
listen with your eyes.
I mean, that's the truth sometimes. Yeah.
Seeing is believing.
Amen on that. Anyhow, hey, until next week, Larry and I are out of here, man. So, peace.